Welcome to Throttle House Express. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And this is our F-150.
Yeah, we bought one.
Well, a long time ago.
Years ago.
Yeah, in 2023.
And we never announced it for some reason.
No.
We did announce it when we bought a Ram.
We had a Ram.
And then a year? How long did we have that?
2 years.
And then we shamefully switched it for the Ford.
For an F-150. So this is a Lariat Power Boost. The reason we got this was we wanted the Pro Power Onboard, which is, this is the hybrid V6. So it has like the 7.2 kilowatt generator built into the truck for powering like filming sites and for racing and that sort of thing.
A lot of what we do ends up just us being in a field.
Yeah, and so we need power. And so that's why we got this.
But because we've had it a while, this isn't just we bought this with nothing else.
Yeah, it's like a long-term update.
This is years.
No, can't be an update.
No, just review.
Long-term test.
Long-term test of an F-150.
It's been through some stuff, this poor truck.
Yeah, in our custody.
Broken into twice on
our
road trip that you might have seen.
The first time was through the bed, the truck bed.
Oh, yes. Okay, so fun story about this. We had what was the name of it? Backflip branded thing that covered like the tonneau cover. And turns out with the backflip, you can take a screwdriver and just slide it in where the thing meets the back of the truck and go and pop it open. And so that's what the thieves did. They obviously knew the brand. They popped it open, they took everything from the back. That hurt. So then we contacted SmartCap, and they were nice enough to send us this thing, which is a massive steel cap, fully customizable. And this has actually been amazing because we customized it with, here's our fire extinguisher, because you never know. And you can even get things like that cage back there in the glass so that even if they wanted to break the glass, they wouldn't be able to get in.
Right, but in doing so,
we
did not account for the fact, it's like, you know when there's a really secure vault?
No one ever broke into here again.
If it was a really secure vault, but the walls to the vault are quite weak.
Or drywall.
We didn't account for the fact that you can also go through the window, and we left gear in the cabin.
So then they broke the window and stole gear. But damn, they did not get through the SmartCap. They went in through the window on round 2.
It's the aeroplane diagram of the aeroplane that comes back with all the places it's been shot, but it's returned.
Yes.
Because the ones that actually got shot down
exactly. Didn't make it.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but
I know what you're going. I know where you're going with it. But anyway, this has been fantastic. So thanks to SmartCap for sending it. But
well, hold on. Let's step back.
Yes.
Because we didn't announce that we bought this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Why?
Why did what?
Why did we? Was there any other reason apart from the Pro Power Onboard that we left our Stellantis love behind?
Well, you said the reason in that sentence.
Stellantis.
Stellantis.
Right, because Ford built rough is better.
No, it isn't, as it turns out.
Has it been absolutely perfect?
Nope.
Not even because of the break-ins?
Nope.
What's happened?
So, for some reason...
How many miles have we done?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. You can... 33,000.
33,000.
Yeah.
Kilometers.
So the Pro Power Onboard has been useful, and I used it on racing weekends to power my quick jack, which like lifts up my race car.
Right.
It's powered my trailer, no problem. It's a generator. However, if you plug sensitive electronics into it, we found out, you can blow ballasts on extremely expensive filming lights.
Yeah.
And
did it multiple times.
Multiple
lights, because we were like, well, maybe it was the light. And then it broke the next one.
Yeah. And it has occasionally just decided to stop feeding power to certain things like a cooler, which had all of our drinks in it in the summer. So all the employees were grumpy because they had warm beverages.
So you were grumpy.
Yeah, I was grumpy.
Has it? Okay, but forget the Pro Power Onboard bit.
Yes.
This has got a hybrid system, things that potentially are accused of not being reliable.
Yes.
Has it been fine?
No.
Right.
It's broken a couple times. One time, I had to go to the dealer once for sure for a hybrid issue. And one time it was completely bricked, and we had to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery and reconnect it in order to get the car to start and work. Apparently that was fixed with an update. It hasn't happened since.
Right, so good thing for warranties.
Yes.
I like the color.
Yeah, so this is funny. I saw this color, I was like, I'm gonna be unique. This is a new color this year. So I got this color, which is called—
For 23.
For 23.
Yeah.
It's called Avalanche or something like that, whatever it is. I and every single other person that year got this color. So this is the least unique F-150 that has ever existed, I think.
Were you excited to switch when the time came?
I was, because I actually like the way that the F-150 drives better than the Ram.
Interesting.
Right?
Let's drive it.
Let's
chat
go.
and drive.
Yeah. I should put this down, yeah. All right, there is actually a lot to like about this.
Yeah.
It does drive very well, and it does have the hybrid turbocharged V6, which means, I don't know if you remember,
Oh yeah.
this is a properly quick
Change
truck.
the sound and you've got a Raptor R. That's like,
No, but it is actually a very quick vehicle.
yeah, that's quick.
Right? And it has the full-time, like 4 auto, so it's great in the winter. It's really easy to drive. And I like the way the F-150 drives better than the Ram. The Ram is more truck-like.
But the Ram had the air suspension though, so it had a better ride.
Yes, but they retuned these dampers so that they are a little bit nicer and softer. So you don't get as much of that annoying judder you used to get in an F-150.
I see.
So I found the ride to be in this as good as the Ram. As near as I don't really care.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge. I feel like I'm in a full office.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the table.
This has the table that folds out, which you can't do it until you're parked because you got to put the gear selector down.
Right.
But yeah, this is the Lariat. So it comes with all the cooled seats, heated seats, all the fancy stuff. I got towing package. So
we
got the
decided
big
we
mirrors.
wanted comfort, right?
Yes.
Mostly for safety reasons.
Yes.
The person driving this back from a filming day has had an exhausting day, whoever it is.
Yep.
Let them, if they're going to crash and die, let them have a warm bum.
Or a cool bum, depending on the temperature
yeah.
outside. I like the gauge cluster. I like this has been a little bit glitchy every once in a while, but fine, mostly overall. Lots of space, big seats, big comfy truck.
This is the cleanest I've ever seen it.
Yeah, we got details.
This truck
We got
is
details.
normally a disgrace.
Literally, this is not what it's looked like for the last 2 years.
There's Mountain Dew up to your shoulders in this.
But no, this is, again, other than all of the major issues we've had with it, it's been great.
Yeah, this poor truck, it's not done well. It hasn't had a good time.
No, it hasn't. And
But it's a work truck. We've pushed it and worked it hard.
we honestly have. And I've done, I don't know, 10 race weekends with this thing, right? And that's towing a 22-foot car hauler with a race car, 4 sets of tires, and an entire kit to go racing for the weekend, and filled the flatbed with fuel, jerry cans, food, barbecues, and without even an ounce of complaint, it will drive 4 hours to a race weekend.
Unless it doesn't want to start at all. But
Right.
once it starts.
Once our goddamn, does it take you there?
Yeah, it won't start the fight, but it'll finish it.
That's right, yeah.
I think it's hard not to be endeared to the cars that are your workhorses.
Yes.
Even if they don't do that well sometimes. This has been on journeys with us. It's any road trip we've done in Canada, this has been the filming car of Vuelto or the V12.
Well, it's been the support truck is what it has been, right? It's been the thing that carries everything. You want a napkin? It's in the F-150. You missing a fork? It's in the F-150.
Yes.
Got to do some detailing spray? It's in the F-150.
It is
Extra toilet paper for Harrison? In the F-150.
I mean, try not to bring up Harrison's public defecations.
Anyway, I have liked this thing, and I haven't really had an issue with it. However, if I were to buy it again right now, I don't think I would bother with all of the extra stuff. I know the whole being comfortable thing is great and all that, but you realize when you get a truck like this and you actually use it for hauling stuff and utility, all that really matters is a good towing and payload capacity and the fact that it starts and stops. Like everything else you can get by with, right? In other words, I don't like the idea of an ultra luxury truck.
So it's interesting you say that because we were talking about this off camera beforehand.
Yeah.
There doesn't exist an ultra luxury truck. I know that those are technically a list of luxuries, but in every other genre I can think of, there is a more premium branded version of these. And we mentioned this in the Escalade V.
Yeah.
There should be an Escalade V truck. Why isn't
basically
there...
you have Escalade V and G-Wagon G63.
Yeah.
Like those are your ultra luxury big body-on-frame utility vehicles, but they're not
Yeah, there is a
pickups.
Mercedes pickup in other markets.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure the Mercedes pickup is a rebranded, like Nissan or something like that.
Is it? Okay.
I don't know exactly. Or
I feel
maybe
like
that's the VW Amarok.
You're telling me that there's not some wealthy ranch owners down south that would rock a $250,000, all the bells and whistles, glorious truck?
What brand are you envisioning? Because if you're talking about wealthy ranch owners in Texas, what brand do you think those guys are going to get? Isn't Mercedes?
I guess Lincoln or Cadillac is the only options now.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, again,
but
here,
they
like,
won't afford.
this doesn't have heated surfaces. It doesn't have all the things that maybe like an X7 truck would have.
No, but if you get the limited trim, you get massaging seats.
All right. Okay.
Right.
Fine. There's the perfect amount of luxury in the most luxury.
And there is a King Ranch.
For the Ram. No, for the
No,
Ford.
for this.
Which is the Ram one? The Longhorn.
Longhorn.
Oh my god. All right, so you're telling me if you went back in time to buy an F-150,
Yes.
what trim would you get? Would you still get the Pro Power Onboard, the Power Boost?
No, and here's why. Not that I don't like, because it has worked more than it hasn't,
Yes.
if that makes any sense. And it has enabled me to do things that I was unable to do before. However, since this came out, there's been and I think because of the overlanding push from COVID, there's been quite a huge amount of innovation in the kind of battery generator world.
Right.
So you can get, and I have one for my Land Cruiser, a big like box, lithium-ion generator power pack that puts out huge amounts of wattage and can hold a lot of energy. So you charge that up, and that will do almost everything that this is going to be able to do.
So are you telling me that you'd potentially save like 30 or 40 grand on the trim of truck?
Yes, and then buy the biggest F-off generator, cool lithium digital connect to your phone thing you can. Put that in the flatbed, and
Okay, so follow-up question then.
yeah,
This lease runs out next May,
yes,
so we've got a year left.
yeah.
When that time comes,
What am I going to do?
are you going to renew the lease?
No, I'm not going to buy another. This sounds more damning than it is. I'm not going to buy another F-150.
Right.
I still think this is a fine truck, but of course it's going to have its faults, and it's a Ford, whatever. I would say Toyota, but that new Tundra has had a few issues, which I think they've sorted, and you assume that they would because they're Toyota. But I kind of wish there was still, maybe I'll buy a previous gen Tundra with the naturally aspirated V8.
Right.
But then the fuel economy, I forgot to mention. This gets actually fantastic fuel economy, and with the range extender tank or whatever, there's like 1,000 kilometers to a tank.
Right.
So I don't know what to do.
There's interesting stuff coming out. I mean, in the last few years, we've had the F-150 Lightning, which drove great, can't
Yeah.
tow because it's an EV.
Yeah,
You got the Rivian, can't tow because it's an EV.
yeah.
There is the new Scout trucks that are electric that have a range extender now,
Right.
but I believe that massively reduces their towing capacity, which would be a
Kills
deal
that.
breaker for us.
Yeah.
So you're still looking at a gas option only. Really, just Toyota? It seems like such a dull change.
It is, but there aren't that many options, right? And no, straight up, an EV truck is absolutely out of the question.
Yeah, it can't work.
It just can't work. Like,
Right.
let's just say I wanted to do a race weekend, or we wanted to tow something to, occasionally we film at Mosport. You wouldn't make it.
All right, so the Cybertruck's out then.
Cybertruck is out for 250,000 other reasons. But yes, it is.
What if they made a petrol Cybertruck?
No, I wouldn't, because
What engine would it have?
I
What
don't,
engine would any of the Teslas have?
I don't know.
Model 3 would have a Turbo 4.
I guess it would. That's so. I don't know. I see the thing is, you can't even trust them to glue a panel to the exterior of the car correctly. You want them to design and engineer an internal combustion engine. That is just not a chance it's going to work. Anyway, to conclude, this has been a fine truck.
You can't even say it's been good to us, can you?
It's been fine to us.
It's been fine. We've
You know
been
what has
fine
been-
to it.
You know what has been good
And
to us?
Canada has been horrible to it.
Yes, but the dealership that I bought it from, Eastgate Ford, they were fantastic.
Yeah, they're lovely guys.
They were great. They made this really easy, and as soon as there was an issue, they're like, bring it in and we'll fix it. Lance, Eastgate, you guys rock. Thank you very much. The truck, though, not your fault. Ford's fault. has not been perfect.
It's comfy though. You can be in this for 1,000 miles.
That's the thing. That's what
Yeah.
it does. That's what F-150s do. You could drive this all day and never be tired. So
I will say the Ram was the same.
the Ram was the same.
I liked the air suspension.
Ram was
This
the
is
same.
slightly more truck.
Yeah, fair
crushy.
enough. But here, when I was talking about the originality of my color,
Yeah.
lo and behold, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything original about an F-150.
What am I gonna do with the smart cap though? I gotta fit that on something. It's so cool.
Just give it to the thieves so they can reverse engineer it,
Figure out how to get in.
figure out how to get in.
Right.
And then in the next video, we'll announce they figured it out. And then we'll do a different product. We'll say to get stupid cap.
Stupid cap. Okay, good. Thanks, James. That is the
saddest,
most
the saddest.
hateful vehicle that has ever
It's
existed.
sad.
The Buick Encore is easily one of the worst things ever invented.
Ugh.
It's disgusting
Look,
to look at.
when I see that, I'm like, someone turned up to a dealership and bought that brand new.
Yep. Yep.
They could have done anything. They could
Yeah.
have bought a lightly used Civic.
Yep.
And they bought whatever that is.
And they were really excited because that was the same day that they got their shingles vaccine.